up, everybody? Jonathan Rose. In this video, we're going to go over an awesome unusual options activity trade. I'm going to walk you through 4 different things. First, how we found the trade. Second, shared the trade this past Sunday, June 7th. And then June 9th, cloud shares jump on private equity report. Cloudera stock jumps. IBM might be the strategic buyer. Where there is smoke, there is fire. Then what we found out, a month ago, 2 months ago, a major director started investing in his own company. First time he's ever bought this amount of stock. And then finally, I'm going to walk you through exactly why Pablo is thinking about stopping trading futures altogether and only focusing on unusual options activity. Let's get going, guys. So first things first. As a former market maker on the floor of the Chicago Board Options Exchange, I understand the importance of following these major orders. As a market maker, the one thing we followed to value options was unusual options activity. Pablo's been working with me, started as a coaching client for the last 3 years. Pablo is building a tool to find unusual options activity that we think will be released at the end of June. He sent this over to me on Sunday, and it was about Cloudera, CLDR. Over the first week of June, we saw its average options volume increase from 5,200 to 17,000, a massive, massive jump. So we looked further into it. On June 1st, massive amount of calls. On June 2nd, a massive amount of calls. On June 3rd, just a massive amount of options. Lots and lots of calls again. Calls, size, options. You can get a feel for what's going on by following unusual option activity. Why all of a sudden did Cloudera's options jump so significantly? And then Pablo added, likewise, we're starting to see historical volatility levels rise. 10-day historical volatility relative to 20-day, relative to 50-day, etc. However, the implied volatility for this stock is at 123%. That's the 99th percentile. 100 is the highest it's been. 99th is really darn close. Quite expensive options, but clearly, and yes, Pablo's been with me for 3 years. This takes time to learn. It takes time to get confident in. When you see a massive jump in volume or unusual options activity, and you can figure out, is it on the call side or on the put side? It's clearly someone knows something. And if you don't want to buy into that, how about this? It's clearly that someone knows something more than you. You need to pay attention. You need to learn. So clearly someone knows something, and that someone is, unfortunately, not one of us, as they have been buying options on CLDR all week long with a heavy foot. So what we did is we shared a trade with the membership. Hey guys, CLDR is experiencing a massive uptick in unusual options activity. What we're going to do is we want to buy the straddle. So here's Cloudera. We suggested buying the 10-strike straddle. You could buy it for $1.50 or $1.60. Right now, that straddle, if you add up the call side and add up the put side, is about $3. So far, we've doubled our money. Great job. Now, Jonathan, why don't we just buy upside calls? There were so many people buying calls. Well, they were buying calls, but we're not certain they were buying calls because it was bullish. You see, if you buy calls and you sell the underlying stock, you're really synthetically buying puts. Again, if you buy calls and you sell the underlying stock, it's the same behavior as buying a put. So buying a call doesn't mean it's bullish. But what we do know is because they were buying so many of these options, we could expect movement. So rather than just focusing on the call side, we decided to focus on the straddle, buying the call, buying the put. So we just needed movement. We ended up getting that movement to the upside, which is great. We still have till July, we still have 37 days for this trade to work. We can manage this trade by selling stock, by selling some upside calls, lots of different paths. But now, how do we feel? Sure, we're up 100% on the trade. What more do we know? In doing some research, I came across this. Cloudera stock, this is back from March, but all of a sudden, Carl Icahn gets involved, and then Mr. Fenton, a general partner at Benchmark Capital and a Cloudera director, paid $5 million on March 16th for 719,000 shares at an average price of $7. Nice fill, Mr. Fenton. The stock's now at 12. According to a form he filed with the SEC, Fenton now owns 800,000 Cloudera shares. So my guy right here, before March 16th, he owned 60,000 shares of Cloudera. But he must have had a really, really good feeling that the stock might go up, because he went in and committed $5 million on March 16th to buy 719,000 shares. Oh yes, his first open market purchase of stock. So this is not something that he does quite often. So you may be thinking, so what? If I can't learn this, what's the point? Well, to help, we're looking to simplify unusual options activity trading. Pablo is building a tool that will allow us to find these trades. It's something that he's been working on for 2 years. And now we're at the point where Pablo shares that a target date for the initial release is going to be at the end of June, or as quickly as we can get it out. But this is what really stood out to me. With the few unusual options activity trades I've done using my own account for testing the unusual options activity tools picks, the return on capital makes me want to stop trading futures. Pablo, you can't stop trading futures. I love trading futures with you. And literally do nothing but unusual options activity all day. Or perhaps unusual market activity. I like that, Pablo. I can't stop trading futures. They're my barometer and currently weekly paycheck source. Who knows what happens going forward? I still love trading futures. I still love trading options. I think that traders, we need to look for return on capital. I think we need to look to diversify our income sources, our trading account. This is really exciting. CLDR, we shared it with the membership this past Sunday. Great freaking trade. Pablo, great job, buddy. Thanks for listening, guys. Jonathan Rose, owner, Masters in Trading.